teachers, today we are going to discuss about the key elements of Teacher's Handbook, bridging curriculum and classrooms. Here we shall discuss Teacher's Resource Book. Teacher Resource Book is a rich resource hub integrated with the QR codes and a comprehensive lesson plans and diary, along with additional pedagogical resources and approach. Ultimately, the teacher resource book, the teacher handbook, is a upskilling guide, and we dispatched 51 handbooks with 490 plus chapters and 7,000 plus period plans. Here, this handbook is prepared in accordance with the curricular goals, competencies and learning outcomes of NCF 2023, and also according to NEP goals, and also it contains the subject specific teacher handbooks to improve the professional development of the teachers through the QR code, the teacher additional resources, and also the structured lesson plans and the teacher diaries space to reflect the pedagogical strategies and self-reflection tools, and the QR link resources to promote evidence-based teaching. Here we can see what is a teacher handbook, what are the key elements of teacher's handbook. If you see here, teacher ready reckoner, what are the material required for a teacher to start the teacher handbook. And the second one, in the calendar pages, for every lesson we had given a calendar which topic has to be taught in which day, and along with that we had given the QR codes. Through that QR codes we can access the lesson plans along with the period plans. Here also we included the structured lesson plans and year plan, and also teacher additional resources which are required. A part of that teacher resources what we had given in the calendar pages, and also we aligned the teacher handbook with the taxonomy of videos and academic calendar, and also with the LEAP app, and remediation mechanism also was given. These are the highlights of the teacher handbook. As a part of teacher ready reckoner, if you see the QR code on the cover page, we can access the following content, such as purpose of the teacher handbook, features of the teacher handbook, key elements of the teacher handbook, and also NCERT curricular expectations, effective classrooms strategies based on 5 E's integration of 21st century skills, curricular goals and competencies, and the LOs as per NCF classroom transaction, what to do before classroom transaction, while teaching and after teaching, and also the activity wise, chapter wise teaching learning material, and also along with the examination reforms, along with the instructions to teachers and students also. Everything was included in this QR code. If you scan the QR code present in the textbook, definitely you will get the total information. As a part of teacher ready reckoner, under purpose of teacher handbook, we had given the core objectives of the teacher handbook, like curriculum interpretation, pedagogical guidance and lesson planning support, assessment and reflection, supporting differentiated teaching, integration of additional teaching supports. Everything we had given also the what are the teacher resource materials aligned with ACERT, NCERT, and also regarding the for the sake of CPD also. If you see the teacher ready reckoner, the features of teacher's handbook, the curriculum alignment is the the important feature of the teacher handbook, and also the lesson plans and the teacher diary and the teacher resources. Here you can see here the key features of national education policy, and also the science curricular expectations. For every subject the curricular expectations were given according to the NCF, and also the effective teaching strategies based on 5 E's model, like engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate. And also actually these 5 E model with all kinds of learners including adults also we had given the inputs according to the 5 E. And also the 5 E allows students and teachers to experience common activities to use and build on prior knowledge and experience. In this teacher handbook, we had given the activities like that to construct a meaning and to continually assess their understanding of a concept. And also, we had given material regarding the 21st century skills, and also what are 21st century skills, and also what are the 21st century skills like 3Ls: learning skills, literary skills, and life skills, and 4Cs: critical thinking, creativity and innovation, collaboration, communication, and IMT: information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy, and the flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility. Likewise, initiative and self direction, problem solving, social and cross cultural interaction. All these 21st century skills were included in the structured lesson plans what we had given in this teacher handbook. And one more important feature is the TLM. We had given the chapter wise, activity wise TLM, and also here you can see the activity number and activity name, material required, and also we had given separate column for required chemicals also. In the right hand side, you can see the alternate TLM, the low cost TLM. Likewise, you can see here candle, matchstick, Bunsen burner, beaker, something with a less amount of small amount of quantity of the equipment. We can do this alternate equipment, and also the material which are required, which are available in the surroundings. Also, we can do the these experiments. That means we had given the TLM and the alternate TLM also for the activities, chapter wise, activity wise activities also. And also after that, we had given the assessment reforms and also the examination reforms. And in this, we had given the what are the instructions the teachers has to follow and the students has to follow. A detailed discussion was done as a part of examination reforms. After that, we had given the year plan. Here I had given an example for the 8th class physical sciences, and which chapter in which month we have to teach, and what are the number of instructional periods and the number of non-instructional periods. Also, we had given instructional periods are allocated for teaching and non-instructional periods are allocated for remedial instruction or project work or something else. What are the support required for the students in that particular class. And also here we had given the examination schedule, on which dates which exam will be there, and what is the syllabus for the examinations, and what are the holidays and the number of working days. Everything we had given for the teachers for the sake of information. If you see, already we told about the teacher handbook is a rich resource hub with QR codes. Here you can see the force and pressure. If you access the force and pressure QR code, you can access all the material, all the lesson plans and period plans of the force and pressure. If you access the colon per. Hello teachers, today we are going to discuss about the defects of vision of 10th class. If a teacher handbook of 10th class physical science, in the year plan, we can see the human eye and colorful whole chapter was allocated for August month syllabus, and also the number of periods allocated under instructional periods and non-instructional period also. In the non-instructional periods, we can follow the curricular content. In the non-instructional periods, we can follow the remedial or reteach sessions and what else the support required for the students. Here the chapter was divided into 5 periods. Today we are going to discuss about the second period, that is 10.2, the defects of vision and their correction, that is myopia, hypermetropia and presbyopia, and the learning outcome also very specific for the second period, that is identify the visionary defects and suggest a suitable lens for the eye defects. And these, whether teaching the real classroom scenario, we have to take care of this learning outcome, whether we are going to achieve this learning outcome or not. According to that, we have to change our teaching learning strategies. Before teaching a particular concept, we have to take care of the previous knowledge what the students are having, because we are dealing the second period. The subject content what we taught in the first period will be the previous knowledge. So I had taken the concept map which is there in the 10th class teacher handbook, and I kept in the red box what we taught in the first period, that is regarding the construction of eye and what are the different parts and the least distance of distinct vision and the accommodation. All these concepts were covered. So now I'm going to recall the previous knowledge like least distance of distinct vision and also accommodation, and also how the image is going to be formed on the retina. Here we can see a ball is kept very near to eye. We can't see the ball clearly and distinctly. If the ball kept apart, a distance, if I kept some sort of distance to the eye also, I can't see the ball clearly and distinctly. At a particular point of minimum distance, I can able to see the ball clearly and distinctly. That is at a distance of 25 centimeters. This 25 centimeters is called least distance of distinct vision for a normal eye. The minimum distance at which a person can see an object comfortably and distinctly is called least distance of distinct vision. This is the anatomy of human eye. Here we can see what we learnt in the first period, that is lens, eye lens, cornea, pupil, iris, light, and retina, optic nerve. Now the second concept, accommodation of lens. The ability of eye lens to change its focal length is called the accommodation of eye lens. Now we can see one video regarding that one. Here you can see. If you see here, when you see the objects closer to the eye, the muscles will contract, thereby the eye lens will become thick and the focal length of the eye lens will decreases. If you see the distant objects, the muscles will relax and thereby the eye lens will become thin and the focal length will increases. When the light ray fall on the eye lens, the image will be formed on the retina, thereby we can see the image. For a normal eye, the least distance of distinct vision, that is the near point, is 25 centimeters. You can see the least distance of distinct vision. The far point, that is the maximum distance the eye can see clearly and distinctly, that is nearer to infinity. That is, we can see the image. If the eye have any defects, we can't see the image clearly and distinctly. So this is called, this type of change of focal length according to the distance of the object is called, this type of adjustment of the focal length of the eye lens is called accommodation, and the near point for a normal eye is 25 centimeters and the far point is nearer to infinity. Here we can see the next how the image will be formed. Here we can see the normal eye, how the image is going to be formed when the light ray falls on the eye lens. That will the rays will converge on the retina, thereby the image will be formed. The sensitive parts of the retina will convert these into electrical signals, and they will go to the brain, and they will become, this will give the image. So likewise, when the light ray falls on the eye lens, we can get the image on the retina. When the light rays converge and forms image on the retina only, we can see the image. Here, but in this scenario, if you observe, the light rays is falling on eye lens, but the image is not forming on the retina. Before the retina only image is forming. So at this point of defect, this is an eye defect called myopia. At this point of time, the people can't see the image because the image is not forming on the retina. Here you can see the eye defects: myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia. In this session, we are going to discuss about the eye defects like myopia, hypermetropia, and presbyopia. In the teacher handbook, in chapter 10, Human and Colorful World, first of all, we have to go through the learning outcomes and the previous concepts required. Already we discussed about the learning outcomes and the prior concepts. If you see the QR code here, if you access this QR code, you can get all the content, the lesson plan, the period plans regarding the human and colorful world also. Here you can see, if the object is kept at a point of distance, the image is not forming on the retina, thereby we are not getting the image. Okay, we can see in detail. Here we can see the explicit teaching. After that, when we are going for a period, first of all we have go for learning outcome. What is the learning outcome? According to the learning outcome, what are the type of activities we have to perform? That is I do activity, that is the teacher modeling activity, and the group activity, peer activity, we do activity are the independent activity which has to be done by the student. That is the you do activity. That means in the teaching learning transaction in the classroom, we have to perform I do activity, after that we have to we do, and after that you do activity. That is the gradual hypermetropia, farsightedness. Here a person with hypermetropia can see distant objects clearly but cannot see the nearby objects, because the near point for a person is farther away from the normal near point 25 centimeters. That is, the near point is greater than 25 centimeters. That is, the people cannot see the image of that particular object which is kept between the near point and the least distance of distinct vision. Here you can see the normal eye. In the case of hypermetropia, the image is forming beyond the retina, so the people cannot see the image of that particular object clearly and distinctly. So we can bring the object beyond the near point, then they can see the image clearly and distinctly. Beyond the far point only they can see the image. Here you can see, if we kept at the least distance of distinct vision, the image is going to be formed beyond the retina. If you keep the particular object beyond the near point, as usual the image will be formed in the retina. So bringing the image of the object kept between near point and least distance of distinct vision beyond the near point, we can use a convex lens, that is a converging lens. Here, see here, if you put a convex lens, the object, when the object is kept between least distance of distinct vision and the near point, then while putting a convex lens, that image of that particular object will be kept beyond the near point. That means the image of that convex lens will be the object for the eye lens. When the image of that particular convex lens is formed in between or beyond the near point, the eye lens will form the image on the retina. So by putting a convex lens, we can correct hypermetropia. Here you can see, bringing the object to beyond the near point. Hypermetropia, we can see here hypermetropia. That is, hypermetropia is a farsightedness. Only a person with hypermetropia can see distant objects clearly but cannot see the nearby objects distinctly. Why? Because the near point is greater than 25 centimeters. By using a convex lens, that is a converging lens, we can correct the hypermetropia. And also already we discussed myopia. For myopia, the image is going to be formed before the retina. For hypermetropia, the image is going to be formed beyond the retina. So for myopia, we are using the concave lens, and for hypermetropia, we are using the convex lens. This is the myopia and hypermetropia and the correction of myopia and hypermetropia. Okay. We shall see for presbyopia. What is presbyopia? That is, the presbyopia will be occurred. This effect can be seen in aged people because of the gradual weakening of the ciliary muscles and diminishing the flexibility of the eyelids. That is, the power of accommodation because will be less because the gradual weakening of ciliary muscles. The eye vision is a vision defect when the ability of accommodation of the eye usually decreases gradually with aging. Near point also gradually recedes away, and also difficult to see the nearby objects clearly and distinctly, and the further project for and the distant objects also they cannot see the near objects and also the distant objects. Both short sightedness and the long sightedness also because of the weakening of the ciliary muscles and the loss of power of accommodation. Here you can see, here we can see a video on presbyopia. Here you can see this one. Here you can see the due to the aging, the ciliary muscles is going to be weakened. So here you can see beyond the 25 centimeters only, that is the near point is greater than 25 centimeters. So we have to put the convex lens to set this defect hypermetropia, and also they will have the short sightedness also. By using a concave lens we can avoid this defect. For using this we are going to use the presbyopia both because these are having both short sightedness and long sightedness. We have to use the bifocal lenses to reduce the presbyopia. For the correction of presbyopia, we have to use the bifocal lens. The upper part is concave lens and the lower part is convex lens to correct the presbyopia. Up to now, we discussed about the teacher modeling I do activity. Now we are going to proceed with the we do activity. In this, we had given so many some sort of video links, and video links while they are seeing that particular videos, we have to pose some sort of questions. Are you able to see this object when it is kept at this point, and if the object is kept very nearer to your eye, can you see this one? Why the convex lens is used to correct the hypermetropia? Why the concave lens is used to correct the myopia? Likewise, you have to pose some questions and you have to release the gradual responsibility to the students. And also these are the video links. If you click these video links, these links will redirect to the videos also. And this is the independent work. The third step, the activity in the activities, independent work you do, how eye problems occur. Likewise, we have to pose some questions and we have to grab the answers from the students and all. Like now I am going to summarize the content what I had taught in this lesson. The first again I am summarizing. First one, we had seen the if you see the chapter learning outcomes and also the prior concepts vocabulary and the hook activity, and for every starting of a chapter an interesting curiosity creating activity has to be done. While we are teaching the second period and third period, we have to recall the previous knowledge what was given in the previous periods, and also the after that we have to take care of learning outcome, and after that we have to go for the activity based learning, that is I do, we do and you do activities. While the I do, we have to show the interactive content, also the you do also posing questions, and we have to retrieve the answers, otherwise we have to give some sort of hands-on activities also. And after that you do the by posing questions or showing video content or hands-on and some observation checklist, that the students only will do answer those questions. They will do the some sort of activities like you do. After that, after completion of all these activities, we have to go for the recapitulations what we taught in that particular period. That is, I'm just recapitulating the differences between myopia and hypermetropia. If you see here, myopia, hypermetropia, how the first image is the normal, and the second one is in the myopia the image is formed before the retina, whereas in the hypermetropia the image is formed beyond the retina. In the myopia, the image you can see, for the correction we used the concave lens. For hypermetropia, for the correction we use the convex lens. Here we can see myopia, hypermetropia, the differences between the image formation also. Here hypermyopia and hypermetropia, the correction also already we discussed. In myopia, they can see the nearer objects but cannot see the distant objects at a particular point of distance. In hypermetropia, they can see the distant objects clearly but cannot see the objects of near distances. Here, maximum focal length is less than 2.5 centimeters. In hypermetropia, minimum focal length is greater than 2.25 centimeters. And near point is minimum distance at which a person can see an object comfortably and distinctly. In myopia, near point is the minimum distance at which a person can see an object comfortably and distinctly, and a far point is the maximum distance at which the eye lens can form the image on the retina. For myopia, far point is less than infinity. For the hypermetropia, near point is greater than 25 centimeters. Here we can see far point is less than normal vision. Here near point is more than the normal vision. Already myopia will be corrected by using biconcave lens, and hypermetropia can be corrected by using a biconvex lens. Okay, can see the objects. If the object is at the far point or in between far point and least distance of distinct vision in the case of myopia, and hypermetropia can see only if the object is beyond the near point. Okay, we can see the same. And also we revised the second period, that is eye defects. You can see and showing that concept map, you have to summarize again. Here this is the myopia, this is the hypermetropia and presbyopia. Under myopia, this is called nearsightedness, and the far point for myopia, the far point is less than the infinity, whereas the when compared to the normal vision. And for the hypermetropia, farsightedness and the near point, here you can see near point is greater than 25 centimeters, and it can be corrected by using biconvex lens. And the presbyopia, due to aging, due to the weakening of ciliary muscles, it will come by using bifocal lenses. We can we can correct the presbyopia. Likewise, we have to use some sort of links also. After that, we have to give the summary. Total, we have to give the summary. That is the total gist of that particular period we have to give in 3 to 4 lines to read, and to rewrite those lines in their notebooks also. After that, after recapitulation, as a part of assessment, we have to pose some questions, check for understanding questions, factual questions. Likewise, what is myopia, what is hypermetropia, at what age the eye loss, its power of accommodation. Likewise, we can pose some questions for check for understanding. After that, we have to give the homework. This, after the teaching learning transaction, we have to complete the teacher diary at the end of the chapter. Then what is the date and what are the activities you performed and what is the TLM you have used in the particular period, and some open-ended questions under that, teacher signature, HM signature, and the teacher notes to reflect. They can write some notes in that particular area. Likewise, we have to take the support of teacher handbook, and before teaching, while teaching, and after teaching, already we discussed a step. Based on the steps, by using the teacher handbook, teaching, accessing all the digital resources, what else it is there in the teacher handbook, we can give a better learning, experiential learning to the all the students. So teachers, let us try to give more experiential learning to our students for inculcating the scientific curiosity and scientific temperament among students. Thank you so much.